All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shah, Bashem, Wakakwadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, rule and teach well, and peace and salutation to the elect. This is going to be a video on, the title of the video is going to be, a white woman can never be a black man's rib. Okay? A white woman can never be a black man's rib. Okay? Now, when you jump to the book of Genesis, the second chapter, you see that the Lord caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he took one of his ribs, all right, and from his ribs, the Most High formed Adam's wife, okay, but we were raised in the Christian church to believe that this was an actual rib from Adam, all right, but the rib is a metaphor. All right, when you look at the Bible, the book of Genesis and the book of Revelations are the two most, I guess you say, spiritual books that there are. It's a lot of metaphors, allegories, in the book of Genesis and Revelation. Okay, so when you look into the word rib, it just means of the same, bloodline, the same family. All right. And the Adamites are that chosen line, where the Lord brought out the children of Israel. The children of Israel, the 12 tribes, came out of the bloodline of the Adamites. Okay, so that's what the rib is dealing with, man. The rib is dealing with family. All right, when the Most High gave Adam his wife, she was of that same family, that same chosen bloodline, which now, is known as the 12 tribes of Israel. And also, we look into the word rib or the word tribe. The word rib is actually embedded in the word tribe. And I'm going to go into that later. But this is Genesis chapter 2, verses 21. It says, "And the Lord Yahweh, our power, caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Lord Yahweh our power had taken from man, made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, This is now bone of my bones, and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man." Okay. "Therefore shall a man leave his wife and his mother. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall become one flesh." Okay. So again, going back into that word rib, it goes back into a family. And he said, "This is bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh." Let's go to the book of 2 Samuel chapter 5, verses 1. It says, "Then came all the tribes." And again, when you look at the word tribes, you can see rib within that word, R-I-B. All right. "Then came all the tribes of Israel to David unto Hebron, and spake, saying, Behold, we are thy bone and thy flesh." All right. So, hey, they're of the same family. All right. So when you go into that word rib, it just going into, Eve being an Israelite. They weren't called Israelites in the book of Genesis, but they're of that same bloodline. So they're both of the tribes, Adam and Eve, all right? And we dealing with the other nations, the other nations are outside of the tribes, all right? Well, you could say the ribs of Israel, all right? They're not our bone and they're not our flesh because they're of another stock, all right? They're not of the stock of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, okay? They're heathens. So that's why I say a white woman can never be a black man's rib because a white woman is of another stock, and her stock is of the Edomites, all right? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man today, okay? So yeah, man, that's pretty much what I wanted to get into, all right? These are relatives of the same family. That's what rib is getting into, okay? So let's go to hold on a second. Let's go in the Bible really quick. That's where I got my precepts written at. All right. This is another one, I believe, in the book of Genesis. 29:14. Genesis chapter 29, verses 14. It says, "And Laban said to him, Surely thou art my bone and my flesh." All right. Bone and my flesh. And he abode with him the space of a month. And Laban said unto Jacob, Because thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be? All right. And later on, you can see that Jacob was going to be a slave for his daughter Rachel and Leah. Okay. But going back to the point, thou art my bone and my flesh, meaning what? Israelites. Okay. Of the same family, brothers and sisters. Okay. So that's all that means when the Lord gave Adam his rib. All right. Adam was a black man and Eve was a black woman. All right. Adam had a sister, Let's go to First Chronicles chapter 11 verses 1. It says, Then all Israel gathered themselves to David unto Hebron, saying, Behold, we are thy bone and thy flesh. So it's saying it again, the same thing that Adam said. All right. My bone and my flesh. All right. Going into what? The rib. Same bloodline. Okay. And moreover, hold on a second. And moreover, in time past, even when Saul was king, thou was led us out of he that led us out and brought us in Israel, and the Lord Yahweh our power said unto thee, Thou shalt feed my people Israel. Okay. And thou shalt be ruler over my people Israel. All right. Thy bone and thy flesh. Therefore came all the elders of Israel to King Hebron, and David made a covenant with them in Hebron before the Lord Yahweh, and they anointed David king over Israel, according to the word of the Lord Yahweh by Samuel. Okay. So, hey, all right, that's what it's talking about, Israel. Okay. So that's what Adam had. Adam was a black man, all right? And he had a sister, a black woman. All right. So let's go back to it. Genesis chapter 2, verses 21. It says, And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. So this is an allegory, a metaphor, all right, for being of the same stock, the same family. And the rib which the Lord Yahweh, our power, have taken from man, made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. All right. And how much ribs do we have? We have 12 ribs. All right. 6 on each side. How many tribes are there? 12 tribes of Israel. All right. Bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. Same family. Okay. So going back to, the white woman, she can't be a part of this, because this is only dealing with, the families of Israel. So if a white woman was to get with a black man, she won't be considered a wife. She'll be considered a concubine. All right. A white woman cannot be a black man's wife. All right. The only woman who can be a black man's wife is a black woman or a Hispanic, a Native American woman. All right. And dealing with the Hispanic man, all right, his wife is a black woman or a Hispanic or Native American woman. All right. A woman of the tribes. Bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. These other women outside of that are nothing but concubines. Okay. So I hope this is edifying. I hope it made sense. And shalom to this video.